Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. If you're traveling this holiday season, if your home is filled with boxes and gifts, protect it all with a brand new security system and doorbell camera from Safety Systems. Visit them online or call them this week, safetysystems.com. Let them protect your home this holiday season and beyond. All right. Back with Bob, Chuck, Sterling, Will. We've got a graphic right here. What that shows you, look, there's some juniors who could leave early, but what you got here is, and this is the best I could do in going back and looking through these names, so I hope I'm right on all these. The guys on the left ran through the T, and they all could come back. They all have a year of eligibility left, or a COVID year, maybe that's what that is. Then the guys on the right, they didn't run through the T, but that doesn't necessarily mean much. We don't know how much running through the T means anymore. But all these guys should have at least a COVID year remaining if they wanted to come back. As I said earlier in the show, UT last year kind of had to dig in and throw some money at Jalen Wright after he angled for a little bit more on social media, it seemed. Who would you be throwing your imaginary NIL dollars at, Sterling, if you had to throw money at anybody on there? Who's the first guy on the list?
My first guy is Brew McCoy. I'm a Brew fan. I think he's an awesome receiver. I think he's got a lot of potential. He can really take that wide receiver youth thing that we had when I played and bring it back. Other guy, I'm going directly after either Baron Davis or Amari on the D-line.
Okay.
Those guys can, one more year underneath Rodney Garner, I think increase their draft stock and make our defense better.
Okay, he's got a couple of guys. And the guy I would go straight for wasn't named. Where are you doing, Will?
I'm going Cooper Mays.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
That's who I started. He goes first. Just because
he goes receiver. What would a quarterback look at?
Yeah,
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I got to be protected. Center making the calls, the guy in this offense where it goes a lot faster when he's in the game. To me, that's the guy I go first. Is my priority number one target. Who am I going after to keep back? I'm then going to go to John Campbell, because offensive line is still the hardest position to replace in the recruiting of freshmen or whoever.
Yep.
So any offensive lineman that I say, hey, that's a quality SEC offensive lineman, I'm going after them as my priority ones to put back money into, because that's who I've got to keep. If I have a known quantity in offensive line, I go there first. Then I'm still looking at the defensive line after that with a couple of those guys on the inside, especially that are the run stuffers. I look at those guys, my other guys.
I think, well, if you're talking about that, don't you have to go after the Javonte Spraggins?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to go after, to me, the offensive lineman. I circled Cooper Mays. After you get after that, what about Tyler Barron? I mean, isn't he about your most dependable sack guy? James Pierce, I know we like him. So, I mean, there's just a handful left. But that's who I'm going at, offensive lineman, defensive lineman.
I would go after the offensive lineman first. I would still go after Brew McCoy next. And then I'd get into the interior. I think Tyler Barron's going to go to the NFL. Somebody's going to draft him. I think he's going to make some money.
Let's play that out. Let's throw that out. Let's just
Okay.
if you could lure them, if you had enough money to lure them back, I agree with you. Yeah. I don't think Cooper Mays is coming back either, but we'll see.
But I think I'd go two offensive linemen, Brew McCoy, and then if you think you can get him back, then I'd bring back Tyler Barron. See if he can keep that pass rush going.
Yeah. Okay, let's put up the list again if we could. I don't know if my director can pull up that graphic
I have it
again.
memorized right here, John.
There we go. I would even bring back. You look at Dane Davis, Jackson Lampley. I mean, you need somebody to fall down on the extra points. But Jabari Small. I mean, it's funny. Yeah. Jalen Wright's been such a good running back, and Dylan Sampson's explosive. Jabari Small's got really good numbers all year. He's been solid, and he's just been kind of overlooked. He's literally the sandwich guy.
I would put that back as my needs a little bit, though. If I've only got so much money.
And the only reason I say that, running back is what it is, because it's a commodity in the sense of I can also recruit well there, and I have a good chance of getting somebody that's really good.
Well, you got Cam Selden there too, who
he waiting in the wings.
I expect to look really good next year. I basically wanted to mention Jabari Small because he's kind of a forgotten gal this year. We kind of threw out our top guys that we would bring back already. Let me throw this one out, though. Anybody that you're worried about leaving who, somebody that could just say, I didn't play enough. Anybody got an answer? Anybody?
Dylan Sampson.
You've been saying that since week one. You said that at the Virginia game. Play more.
I mean, I just think Dylan Sampson looks like he could be special. And I think that Wright will go to the NFL because running backs only have so many carries in them. So I think he could leave. I just think he needs to be featured in this offense more than he's been. We
Uncage
talked
the
about,
cheetah.
could you get two of these backs on the field at the same time? And obviously, in this offense, you cannot play two backs at the same time.
Yeah,
so that's
they
who I
didn't.
worry
That's
about
right.
the most.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of creativity, they don't do it.
One last thing, Josh Heupel said he's doing exit interviews Tuesday and Wednesday just to get to the bottom of some of the names on this list.
Anybody else you're worried about other than Dylan Sampson?
I don't think so at this point. I don't have a guy that says it's absolutely irreplaceable that I think is going to be on the way out.
That didn't get to playing time. That
You were
felt like.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: whoever talks about leaving though this year has some leverage because you were losing so many guys. You're losing a lot of players this offseason.
Yeah.
If those guys don't all come rushing back to you, you're losing a lot of guys, which means the guys who are here and are just kind of flirting, they got some leverage because you need to bring back some. You can't just go. Everybody talked earlier this year about, well, you can just rebuild in the portal. Look at Colorado. Yes,
How'd
look
that
at
work
Colorado. That doesn't work. All right. When we come back, any staff changes on the horizon? We'll discuss that next. Are there any coaches who should be looking over their shoulder? Come on back on the Sports Source.